he's not, the police officer's got a grade high school education, right? He has no right to determine what law is and is not in effect. So if the law has been struck down, and it has been struck down for 2 years, it's very arrogant of the police to not obey that court decision.
Have they seen an increase in violence in Ontario with marijuana since it's been...
No, in fact, the courts have much more free court time because the number of marijuana cases has dropped when it comes to possession and personal cultivation in Ontario. So the courts are being freed up. People are not spending a lot of money on lawyers. The Rolling Stones concert was kept peaceful because over 50,000 people were smoking marijuana at that concert, and it would have been a much different thing if the police had gone charging people and going into the concert like they threatened to. Before the concert, they said, well, we're going to take people's pot. And of course, I've been trying to point out, you can't do that. It's as legal as tomatoes and lettuce, and you can go anywhere in Ontario. So of course, the police had to back down. They didn't arrest anybody or charge anybody, even for big honkers like that at the Rolling Stone concert. And the thing is, I got put in jail for 24 hours in Winnipeg and was put in leg irons and manacles to be brought before a judge. There's a former sheriff of a county riding across America right now on horseback to tell people from town to town that the drug war is wrong and that marijuana should be legalized. So even police officers around the world are joining the fight and pointing out that, first of all, police departments get terribly corrupted from the drug war. The lucrative profits, millions of dollars in briefcases and lucrative connections to organized crime totally corrupts law enforcement and offers money. And a lot of officers are not particularly highly paid. So it's not a lucrative job in and of itself. So, you know, you are encountering large sums of money and opportunities for bribes. It's a very tempting thing and a totally unnecessary thing, too.
What do you think about the referendum in Seattle where they voted to make it a low priority on police?
Because 58% of people in Seattle basically said we'd like to legalize marijuana.
Yes.
They can't say legalize marijuana because that's not a power that they can address. No. That's a federal law. But they can address to the local police department, make it the lowest possible priority. Meaning lower than even like a guy singing too loud on the street.
Okay, how do you explain Alaska then? Alaska, it seems to me that it's totally legal to have possession of a quarter pound of pot in your home.
It is
in Alaska.
Yes, as of August 31st, the Alaska Court of Appeal has said that the original 1975 Raven decision is reinstated, and Alaskans can have up to 4 ounces in their home legally as of 2 weeks ago.
So you are in essence proclaiming victory in the war on marijuana.
Oh, absolutely, but either result is victory. If they charge me, it would allow me to get before a judge almost immediately, a justice of the peace, and I'd be able to point out that under Section 601, this decision, that even before I had to enter a plea, I could get a judge to do what Judge Chen has done, and every judge is going to come to the same conclusion. There's no marijuana law. I can't accept this charge. And it's going to happen right away. They don't need to. This is an intelligent decision. You don't think judges aren't reading this right now? You don't think a judge isn't going to read this really articulate, erudite decision that really covers everything? A judge will feel totally informed reading this judgment, and no judge in British Columbia is going to accept any more marijuana possession cases. I assure you.
What does it suggest to you that the cops have locked their door and haven't made their presence felt here today?
Well, that's what happened in every jurisdiction I went where marijuana was legal. I smoked out the police headquarters in 7 Ontario cities, and every one of them said there's nothing we can do about it. Marijuana's not illegal, and they just disappeared. And that happened in Halifax and Charlottetown also, where marijuana charges weren't laid against me, and in fact no charges have been laid against anyone in those jurisdictions. So courts are ruling at the provincial level, and it's being binding on all the other judges.
Do you really think that the cops would come out here and arrest you if they felt that was within their power to do?
Yes, I don't really, because smoking a big joint in Vancouver wouldn't really be considered the same level of civil disobedience it was in Winnipeg, where I was arrested, kept in jail for 24 hours, and brought leg irons and manacles to the judge, right? So I wasn't sure what the reaction is, but the reaction that the public should interpret is that this is the most blatant thing I could think of doing that was peaceful and honest about marijuana by just smoking a big, huge 15-gram joint in front of the police headquarters. The sign says Vancouver Police. So if they're not going to charge me or even interfere with that, then I think everybody can feel safe that there will be no charges laid until the BC Supreme Court or the Canadian Supreme Court overturns this.
They have not any intervention? Do you think they are scared of you?
No, they're not scared of me. The police have no need to be scared of anyone. And that's an important point to remember, is that we are Canadian citizens. We have no real reason to be against the police, but the police are enforcing the old law, and we want that stopped. To stop this persecution, and they must admit that the court has said the marijuana is legal, and so they have to admit that. That's all.
How about Richard Goldman? He also said that it is illegal to have marijuana.
He is a very, very uninformed solicitor general. The court case is very clear, and he is just ideologically against the decision, even though it is the most rational decision written up about this subject from a judge. He is just angry because it goes against his ideology of punishing the marijuana people. He doesn't like us. He doesn't agree with us. He doesn't think we should be given equal rights. And we are saying he's wrong. And this judge agrees with us that marijuana is legal. And so right now and back as far as July 31st, 2001, marijuana is legal. So 75,000 people convicted must have these convictions overturned.
Right now we have how many people in BC they are smoking marijuana?
About 11 to 13% of the population of BC will smoke marijuana in the next year. So about 500 to 600,000 people.
But is it harmful to your body or harmful to your health?
Well, people who smoke marijuana do not believe it is harmful. The people who do not smoke marijuana, they say it is harmful, but how would they know? The people who smoke marijuana, we enjoy doing so. We do so for many decades, all our life, like till we die, and we're happy with that. And so it's very strange because the people who are against marijuana are not smoking it and are telling us that it's bad, but we smoke it and we don't find that to be true. Just like the police here, they don't want to accept the truth. And the truth is that marijuana is not bad for you. Well, no one dies of lung cancer who smokes marijuana only.
One more question about Rich Goldman said that they are the largest only provincial judges to have a judgment, right? But how about the Supreme Court? They have no any law or any judgment on that.
Well, the Supreme Court will come back with its verdict, the final verdict, this November to January. They are writing up the verdict in the next several months about whether marijuana will be legal or not. The Vancouver police are siding with a foreign power over their own judge.
Which is what you said.
Which is a Canadian judge, our judge, representing our law, and a foreign power who has a completely foreign interest is there, clearly influencing the situation, and it's scandalous. If the police don't say it's legal, we'll have to keep having more protests here. So for them, it would make much more sense because no judge will listen to any more marijuana possession offenses. And the fact that they are clinging to this power, this control over people, is very sinister and very kind of dark. I mean, they should be glad, oh good, I'm glad the marijuana people are free. Now we don't have to worry about them. They won't dislike us anymore. Okay. We can all get along. So the police should be saying, well, that's good for everybody. Good for everybody.
When your next action, do you have any further action?
Oh yeah, if they don't agree it's legal, I'm going to smoke here a lot.
Yeah. And shut the roads.
But now that at least that it's been legal for over 2 years, okay, we've had 75,000 people falsely arrested and convicted, okay? 75,000 people in 2 years, and they haven't even said they're sorry. And there hasn't been a marijuana law. Now, come on. Instead, they're being so niggardly. They're saying, oh, well, I mean, we're not even going to acknowledge it's legal now and that we've arrested thousands of people unlawfully, which is what they should be saying, hey, we're really sorry, folks, that we really didn't obey the law for the last 2 years. And even though the Ontario Court of Appeal is the highest judicial body in the country, since the government didn't appeal it, we still don't want to obey the Ontario Court of Appeal. So I'm looking at who are their influences. The Ontario, the U.S., Consul General, an American from a foreign power, is standing behind the Vancouver Police Department's sign at a press conference criticizing a Canadian judge. The Vancouver Police, our Canadian police, let in an American foreign official, media time, and their building to criticize a Canadian judge. Think about that. That's treason. You can't invite foreign officials of an aggressive warlike nation to come to the Vancouver Police Department's media desk and talk to foreign and say a Canadian judge who is not worthy of thought and it'll cause trouble from an American. That's a horrifying thing. It's like our police have completely sold out to American influences, and that's very dangerous for our sovereignty. If the police, that's why they're not giving in. They're more influenced by their American police cousins than their fellow Canadians they're here to serve and protect.